This is Tony Medina, MMAnews.com, here at the HP Pavilion. I'm with Richard Perez, who is the boxing coach of Nick and Nate Diaz. So, Coach, tell me, how do you think your fighter did tonight, boxing-wise?
He did great, you know. I mean, besides the kicks, I mean, you know, we knew the guy was going to come out kicking. But Nick took his time and just boxed him up. And then when he finished, the guy didn't want any more. He went to the ground and he tapped him out.
Now, tell me, as a boxing coach, and you see your fighter going to the ground, is that something that concerns you? Do you kind of want him to finish it up standing up, or you find comfortable with him both standing up and on the ground?
Yeah, whatever comes, whatever happens. If he gets him on the ground and taps him out, that's even better. If he boxes him up, knock him out, or beat him up, then tap him out, that's good, because they make the fight by doing that, you know, because everybody knows they're good on the ground and they're good at standing up now.
Now, tell me what you saw tonight. I noticed during the fight he was pretty much able to pick him apart willfully. You know, anytime he wanted to land a punch square in the face, he was able to do it. What did you guys work on, or how did you prepare for Cyborg? Or were there any surprises? Was he slower than you thought he was going to be? And I mean, did you think he was going to be that open, just to hit him square in the face as much as he wanted?
Well, we knew he was going to be strong. He's pretty fast with his hands, but if Nick used that jab, he can't. Then Cyborg don't have no control if it's kicking or throwing punches, because Nick has. We worked on that jab, left, and then combinations. And if you see where he hit the body and came back to the head, he had him hurt, but he just didn't finish him. I don't know why, but Nick does that sometimes. He just doesn't feel like he should finish him right away, because he did in the first round. He could have finished him off.
Yeah. It looked like it. And it looked like Cyborg was a little tired there towards the end of the first.
We work on body shots, uppercuts, mainly the jab to start all the combinations up. And if you throw a jab, it's hard for a guy to kick you, you know. But he just, I don't know, for some reason Nick wanted him to come at him.
Yeah. And now Fernando Vargas seems to be looming in the future here. What do you see, or how do you prepare him, you know, for a professional boxing fight where it's boxing only?
Well, he's fought once before, professional, 4-rounder.
But Fernando Vargas.
Yeah, but okay, but but you know what? If Nick's when we train, we're going to do nothing but boxing. I guarantee you, he'll be really sharp, because I work in sharpness, combinations, and hard punches, and he knows it, and he's ready for it. Yeah.
And now, what do you worry about going up against somebody with a name like Fernando Vargas, as you know, from a boxing standpoint and from a coach's standpoint, being a part of his team? Do you see a loss there affecting him in the MMA world, or is that totally separate?
Nah, I feel that as far as Fernando Vargas, he's got a name. He hasn't fought in a while, and Nick's constantly fighting. He's constantly training with me besides jiu-jitsu. So when we go to boxing, he'll be fine, because I'll watch Fernando Vargas' tapes, and then I'll work with Nick on that, because I've watched Fernando Vargas a lot. And, you know, he hasn't fought in a while either, so it should be a good fight.
And now, if you had your choice as a coach, where would you like to see him excel? Would you like to see him pursue boxing and be a great boxer, or are you comfortable with, or not comfortable, but I mean, are you okay with him being an MMA fighter as he is right now?
Well, he's comfortable right now in MMA, and he loves box. He loves to box. If he can make the money in boxing, he'll do both. Yeah. He can do both. He's good, because even Nathan, you know, but Nick right now, he's on top of his game plan right now, you know, because he focuses on me training in boxing, and he focuses on his jiu-jitsu. So there's no stopping him right now. You know, as long as he stays clean and don't get in trouble, he's fine.
Do you worry about a lack of talent here in Strikeforce for him, and where maybe in boxing there's some big names, some bigger opponents that he may be able to actually reach and test himself, where he said himself tonight, there's nobody ranked here in Strikeforce that even, you know, is at his status? Does that concern you, and do you see bigger opportunities for him in boxing?
Well, there's always somebody coming up in MMA, just like boxing. You know how they say, like Oscar De La Hoya was fighting, and they felt like there was nobody. People start coming up, you know. So either way, he could take a break and box, and then come back in MMA. You know, he'll fight one and go back to MMA. So really, he can still fight MMA. There'll be guys coming up. So I'm not worried about it.
And so now, what other boxers have you trained in your career, and where does Nick stand amongst those boxers in your rankings, you know, for the best boxer?
I've trained Tony Dominguez. I don't know if you know him. He's from down south in Stockton. And he was 14-0 with 12 knockouts. but he had injuries, shoulder and all. So he retired. But I had Rodney Jones. He had 2 belts, and NABO. NABO. They're underneath the world title belts. He had 2 of them. And then he fought for world title twice. But what messed him up was the manager took him over down south to Campo because they felt that they had better training up there. And they didn't. He called me, and he fought Harry Simons. And I went up there for about 10 days and tried to get him in shape. But he went the distance. But what's his name couldn't hurt him, but he was afraid to burn out his energy because the way I train well, you're going to be ready for 24 rounds. And so then he fought Corey Spinks, and he had staph infection. The doctor told him not to fight, and I told him not to take it, but he took it anyway because it was the world title. And he was already up there, 38 years old. And he lost by decision, but he was weak in the whole fight, but he didn't get hurt.
And now where does Nick rank amongst those boxers?
Well, Nick he's really he sparred with Rodney, and he's really improved a lot. As far as them, he's way up there. I mean, he's really improved. He's a fighter. He didn't quit. He's still going. So, and he has a lot of potential.
Can you see him being a world champion boxer one day?
Sure. Well, if he gets serious about it, yeah. When you box, you have to stick with it if you want to go for the top. But where he's at in MMA, he's already on top. So as far as boxing, if he fights Fernando Vargas and he knocks out, let's say he knocks out Fernando Vargas and does a good job, like 4 or 5 rounds, boxers are going to call him up. They're going to want to fight him. And that's going to be good for him. But if it goes a distance and it's a boring fight, then they'll say, oh, he's an MMA fighter, But yet he fought a good guy, Fernando Vargas. So.
Okay, well, hey, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And continued success to you.